folks, I'm Shawn.
And I'm Corinne.
And welcome back to another Travels of Red Rover.
Today we are stopping at Death Valley.
Yep, this is one of our favorite spots during the wintertime. We don't live all that far away, so it is a very convenient national park for us to come and visit.
And sometimes it's nice to revisit a spot you've been to before with different moods.
Especially when you're doing or planning to do some photography. It gives you a chance to capitalize on changes in the environment and new skills that you may have developed over time, and also just the changes in the environment itself.
Yes. Despite it being a desert and not having seasons, there really are a lot of different moods generated by the sun and the clouds and the wind.
Also, we also like to spend some time trying new locations. And today although we are at the Mesquite Dunes, we are actually at a new location in the Mesquite Dunes, or at least new to us.
Yes, we've traveled down the short road that's called the Old Stovepipe Well Road. And we are at the original well that was used by travelers who traversed on the old Indian trails.
Yeah, and this was actually a really important area for the pioneers. This was virtually the only water in the crossing from east to west across Death Valley, and it was a critical spot on that trail.
Yes, and because of the ever-shifting sand dunes, they stuck a big stovepipe in by the well, hence its name, Stovepipe Wells.
So now the actual area that's called Stovepipe Wells has moved a little bit to the west and south from here, and where they have a store and gas station and an RV park and a small hotel. But this is the original spot, and I just can't imagine coming across here on a spring or summer day when the temperatures are peaking out in 110, 115 degrees. It must have been a very welcome relief to be able to get water here.
So today we are having some substantial winds. Actually, overnight they were really windy, and we're thinking that it probably would have blown some good contour lines into the sand dunes and erased some of the older footprints.
Yeah, to that end, we've actually been out this morning already doing a little reconnoitering. And the dune area that we're in right now, the dunes are much smaller than over in the Mesquite Flats area. And they lend to actually be able to isolate individual dunes and individual lines within the dunes. So it should be quite a beautiful area if we get some nice light tonight.
Well, it's just a little bit before sunset, probably 45 minutes to an hour, and we've come back out to the top northeast corner of the Mesquite Dunes near Old Stovepipe Wells Road, and we're getting set up here, doing a few photos. Now, at this end of the dunes, they're not quite so large, and so what's interesting is using the patterns in the sand to give interest to the picture, because you're not dealing with a lot of big scale. So I've got a picture set up here and I'll show you what it looks like. So here's my camera set up and I'm looking east, so I'm getting some nice light shining on these dunes from directly behind me. As you can tell, I got quite a big shadow going off to my left, but since my dune that I'm working on is at the right, I should be clear for a little while. But you have to keep an eye on those shadows as you're working. So I found this interesting dune. It's got a steep slope with a line leading up to it, but then it's got these patterns running down the slope, and they're making some nice shadows there from the low light angle, and it makes like a little dip or a bench there. So we're taking some pictures of that.
There's some stains on your photo, little cracks on your rusty frame. flashbacks. All these wicked nightmares has gone cold. Now we go way back as far.
Looking around this area, you can see lots of small dunes, pretty landscape, big mountain range over there in the east, and we have some nice clouds set up there. They're big puffy clouds. Nice change over what we had earlier today when we had kind of a big solid mass of gray clouds. So we hung in there and waited to see how it was going to turn out. Well, it's gotten a good deal windier since we came out here. When we first started walking, it was really calm, and now probably the winds are 10 to 15 miles an hour, so it's blowing the sand pretty good where we are. It's kind of neat to see the shifting patterns.
Hi, as you can tell, Corinne and I are standing out in the wind. It's really howling out here now, and the sand's blowing pretty hard. So it's been pretty hard to get any good compositions, because you don't want to leave the camera exposed too long before you cover up the lens cap. We're just waiting for sunset. It's been about another 15 minutes, and we're going to try to get a few shots with sunset. Although most of the heavy clouds that we had all day have really moved out, so not sure how it's gonna look, or even if it's gonna be possible, because it's actually very hard to focus out here because the sand is moving, and it's really hard to tell if you got the focus right. So that's another challenge tonight. So all in all, a very challenging evening to try to catch a photograph.
Now we go way back as far as way back goes. Still standing by your side. You know I'll be right here when all the monsters come. Oh, I've got you.
Good morning, folks. We're on the top of Dante's View this morning. We're going to do a little photography overlooking Death Valley. Hopefully we're going to get some beautiful light. As you can see, as I walk over this way, there's beautiful light over behind me here, and we're just waiting for the sun to come up a little bit more so that we can actually start to see the tops of the mountains on the other side, and maybe a little bit of brightening clouds on the other side. So that's what we're waiting for. Hopefully that'll start happening here pretty soon.
So we're just getting the beginning of some nice glow over on the far side mountains, and the clouds are just a tinge of pink, and it's turning out to be a lovely sunrise here. Well, we finished up our morning at Dante's View, and it's a cold one.
It was cold, but the light was absolutely spectacular this morning, and just what we were after. So it was very rewarding, even though we're both very cold.
Yeah, it's time to escape to the van and warm up. But we had some clouds on the eastern horizon, and it really slowed down the sunrise. But there was a little sliver, and the sun broke through and lit up the peaks of the far mountains, which was really nice.
Yep, so we shot a lot of wide shots, and then I switched over and was shooting some panoramas. So hopefully some of those will come out.
Yes, if you've enjoyed our trip to Death Valley, I hope you'll give us a thumbs up.
Big thumbs up. And if you want to keep track of us, please subscribe.
And if you want to know when new videos get posted, you can click on that notification bell.
And as always, please don't hesitate to send us comments, ideas, thoughts. We love reading them.
Bye for now.
So take care and bye for now.